So I know you don't want to go live with me.
Sayonara, baby.
They probably got that one. All right, ladies and gentlemen. James Kaufman, World News Report today. James Kaufman, World News Report today. Today is September 9th, 2024. God bless you and yours, no matter where you are in the world. Please subscribe, give us a thumbs up, ring that bell for critical future updates. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to do a space weather update. It's been a busy day on our star, and we're currently in a radiation storm. And we're looking for a geomagnetic storm tomorrow about midday into the evening and also into the 10th. See if we are live. I think we're live, but let's see if they are allowing us to be live. They're being sweet. Not a lot of people on tonight. It's a Monday, I guess. I don't know. I can tell by the software I buy tells me which server to go to and what kind of bit rate to pull. So what all that means is we're seeing no solar storms. Well, we're seeing no geomagnetic storms. We're actually in a solar storm currently from a backside eruption this morning around 1:30 UTC time, which was only 8:30 last night, and it's been reinforced by several M-class solar flares. All right, now someone just bought me a cup of coffee, but no one is talking, so I must have something wrong here. Can y'all see this chat here? Can y'all see the chat, or is something going on here? And that question is for anyone that wants to answer here. I appreciate the coffee. Big time. I can't tell who bought it. I'm not even quite sure we're live. But lots of love for the coffee, guys. I'll put the link in case anyone wants to help the channel out. Yes. Hi. Hey, Tiff. Hey, Teresa. Here is the link to buy us a cup of coffee. Much appreciated. God bless, guys. So, it's been kind of a quiet day as far as a geomagnetic storm, but we're in a solar radiation storm, which I think is worse. Now, they're saying that there could be aurora borealis today. I'm asking why. I'm thinking why. We've got that comment out of NOAA and NASA, but there should be a geomagnetic disturbance in our electromagnetic field to actually have the radiation come through our atmosphere like that and show itself, even if it's to your smartphone cameras. So today's been very quiet on all the KP indexes, including the Boulder, Fredericksburg estimated planetary, that we just paid $130,000 to redo for NASA and NOAA, and the college index. Now, if I update this, we should have another. Yes, we do. Look, we should have another bar, and that's going to be the 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. Central bar that just came up, and that was printed. We say Dave McDodd. All right. We'll continue. Tiff, eyes. All right. This is the estimated planetary KP index that taxpayers paid over $130,000 to update. They now actually have it in thirds. And regularly before a fake geomagnetic storm, you'll see a 3.33. That's the way it goes, guys. It's a warning to those looking at the data that this is going to be a fake, false, well, whatever you call it, right? In my opinion, only in my opinion. So today we've had several M flares. I thought we were going to maintain an M baseline there for a bit. We're going to take a look at these M flares in just a moment here. But pretty much all day long we've had M flares, and we had a huge explosion out the backside of our sun. It was so strong that it's, well, sending protons hitting Earth, hitting our satellites, and also creating a polar cap absorption event, meaning radiation's pouring in both the north and south poles of our planet because of a far side eruption that was not Earth facing, actually facing the other direction. I'm going to keep a lot of this up. That was an Earth facing flare today. We did go over that one earlier from 3814. Y'all remember that. So what have we seen today? We've seen 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and I can argue, if we take a look here, maybe more than that. This all looks like a one big long M flare, and let's see, that's going to be it's going to be 4 UTC time. Let's see what time they're picking it up. So they're picking it up at 5. So FYI, before that time period, we had this long period M flare just above 1. You can see the GOES 18 long readings 14, 18, 11. And then we had a bump up right here. But this also, believe it or not, is going to be right around 6 or 5:45 UTC time. 5:45 UTC time. And this is going to be right around 8:45 UTC time. The only ones we're getting here, well, there's the 8:45. I nailed it. And there's the 5:45. I nailed it. So we are missing the long-term M1 flare. We can add at least one M flare. So we've had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 M-class solar flares today. Chances of having an X-class solar flare today are only 15%. There is a beta, delta, gamma sunspot that's Earth-facing, but it has shown very little activity. We'll take a look at that sunspot. M-class, 55%, but we've had 2, 4, 6, 7 of them at least, and we've also had the biggest Earth-facing M-class solar flare that we've had in over 3 days, and that was peaking at 17:08 UTC time. That's 1:08 this afternoon. 1:08 this afternoon. The latest action came from 3814, but it's become less complex, and that actually started tonight, right before 7 p.m., about 6:45 UTC time. Pardon me. And it lasted an incredible long time period here. Talk about an hour and 50 minutes exactly. That is an M-class solar flare. We'll look at 3414, 3411, and 3406 right now. 3414, directly Earth-facing. 3406 is over here on the departing limb, and 3811, I believe that's where we were, 11? Yes. 3811 is also this sunspot right here. 3814 is the one that gave us the, and let me make sure I'm right, the M3.47 solar flare, the strongest flare we've seen in over 72 hours. Currently, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 sunspots named. I'm actually guessing we have more than that coming around the limb here. I can see some problems here and up here. And we all saw what was on the back side of our sun. We're going to leave this up too. Oh no. I was getting well, but all right. I got this pulled up here. We'll pull the combo down, guys. See if I can get it where it needs to be. It'll take me a second, hopefully. So we've got Lasco C2 on the left, Cactus 1 on the right. And wow. See if we, it says yesterday, we're going into today right now, lots of missing time. Wow, that must have been the explosion off the back end. Let's get that again. Let's get that again. Just so many explosions. My dad asked, what's the paddle in the middle? I said, well, that's covering the camera. So a flare like that, how much time was missing there, guys? We're talking about a lot of time missing. See if I can slow it down here. 5 to 14. Watch. All right, going in. Here we go into the day here, and we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and to 14, 16, 18. I mean, they have no scruples whatsoever. That was probably an X20 flare out the backside to affect Earth the way it did. I'll show you how strong of a solar radiation storm we're currently in. It's hard to believe. Cactus 1 always being a great source. I'm going to pull this off, guys, because there's just so much to that program. I'm going to actually pull this down a little bit, and we're going to go through Lasco C3, and we're going to do one step at a time. How's everyone doing tonight? God bless you guys. Great to see y'all. We haven't fried yet, but we are in the process of frying. Look at that. That is that the backside eruption, or is that one of the other eruptions? It could be the eruption out of the side there. The backside's coming up still. Look at this. It's going to be a huge, absolutely huge eruption here. Look, hit the camera. Blacked out the camera. Wow. I don't think I've seen an explosion that big ever. They were guessing it was an X20 plus flare on the back side of the sun. It's created, even though it was headed the other direction, both a proton storm, they call it a solar storm, S1, and a polar cap absorption event where we have protons, or i.e. radiation, look, another impact, or i.e. radiation pouring. Wow. And that's right on time with what we were looking for there at 1500. Did y'all see that? That was right on time when I said 1545. Look, that is the flare, the second flare that we looked at. And I'll show you all the times real quick. Pardon me. Can see these two M flares, the M1, the M3.5, both, well, 1 out of 3811, 1 out of 3814. 3814 is directly Earth facing. 3811 is right here, and 3806 is right on the limb, which is right where our what? That's where our geomagnetic connection is to sun, the sun, pulling us through away from the Big Bang at 544,000 miles an hour, according to mainstream science. Definitely not according to me. Look at this explosion that it wants to see. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. And I guess we saw the backside explosion. What I'm going to do is start this over here. We should see the backside explosion right about here. It should be visible on Lasco C3. And it's not. Totally should be visible on Lasco, unless that's it. But I don't think that is it. Let's go back and take a look. We do remember, if we go back to here, we had that flare here about 2:30 UTC time. So there is the backside explosion there. Absolutely enormous explosion. I don't see anything that needs to be pointed out as far as spaceships or UFOs or UAPs. Some guy, that was a Newsweek article that I sent you guys about the police getting 11-page manuals on aliens, UAPs. It was Newsweek, and I sourced it. Of course, I was called a liar. Clickbait. I made it up. Gosh, if I was that smart, it'd be amazing. Amazing. I'm fairly sharp, but to make up stories out of thin air, you really, really, really have to be smart. And to call people out when they've sourced all their information, the description, but you're too stupid to hit the description, you're probably smarter than me. That's what I'm guessing, right? All right, let's update this just because I know the size has been updated. Let's take a look at what we have. Now, when I say shields up, we can see the shields here in the 5GSM up. They're guarding something. And when they're down here, we see the Schumann resonance going off. This is the D region of our atmosphere. This is the E and F region of our atmosphere. And our atmosphere is varying and depleting because of the secular 3,600 year pole flip. Now, we had a little bit of something. It didn't quite break that 10 centimeters cubed space weather barrier. So it's hard to call this a little something. And we see really no occurrences. Let's see if we can find anything over 10 centimeters cubed. Solar winds started at 365. They were all over the board. So we can get a higher number there. And it looks like they went up as high as, if I can't get that number there, 472. That's pretty high. So starting out at 360, going to 472. Let's see what this peak says here. 477, really into, well, tomorrow or today, depending on where you are. This is a UTC time. So we had solar winds go from about 360 to right under 500 kilometers per second. And you can see as the plasma drops off, our shields also start to fall away. They'll go back to pink very shortly. Temperature looks high all day long. It's higher than normal. Not extremely high, but it's higher than normal, especially with no heavy plasma or solar winds. So we're going to have to keep our eyes on that instead of just having that. So we really have nothing going on. What we see here is ACE, real-time space weather. That was Discover, our new satellite. And this shows you, again, that we never went over 10 centimeters cubed, which would be the space weather threshold, which shouldn't even be a G, 0.001. And then 360 up to 500, just as we talked about. You know what we should do and I have not done? We'll do it in a second. You know, we'll take a look at this. This is our GOES proton flux. We're in a solar storm. That's an S1, not a G1 or an R1. R1's radio blackout. G1's geomagnetic storm. That should be hitting us about midday tomorrow. This is a pure radiation storm or solar storm. And you can see that it's been pushed up over the space weather warning threshold here. And that's 10 million volts. 10 million volts of electricity hitting the planet here, or at least hitting our GOES proton satellite, or a ghost satellite that orbits about 150 miles above Earth. You can see that it's trying to get back under that, but this has been very, very strong. What we had is the backside solar flare that was huge. They're guessing X20 to X40. And then we had several strong M flares that were Earth-facing to bring the proton count this high. Now, this has only happened, the polar cap absorption event and a solar storm has only happened since I've been doing this live for the last 4 years, probably 10, 15 times at the max. If y'all are feeling bad, now we are looking for a G2 moderate geomagnetic storm. Let me say this. The last 2 times they called out a G2 moderate geomagnetic storm, it went up to a G3 and G4, if y'all recall. That was in May, right? That was really last month as well on some of the KP indexes. So they have very little plasma. It goes up to about 15 coming up here. I'm going to go ahead and show y'all today versus, well, their prediction for today versus what really happened next. I wanted to show y'all real quick here on the NOAA's KP index breakdown. This is their forecast. They're looking September 10th, which we're already in. And this is going to be 4 to 7, 1 to 4, and heck, this is going to start in the morning because that's going to be 10 to 1 right there, right? 10 to 1. G1 from 10 to 1. They're looking for a G1 from 1 to 3, or it should be 1 to 4, so it must start at 11, excuse me. And then a G2 from 4 to 7. Picking it back up at 7 p.m., and I'm talking about Central Time. They're talking about UTC time here. Back to a G1, maybe intermittent here, up and down. You can see that we're currently in an S1. That's going to be, well, I'll show you all real quick. It's going to be a solar storm. We're in an R1. It's a radio blackout. And what we will do now is we'll show you what they had in mind for the day versus what really happened, right? So today is the 9th. Right here, no one's been in. What is today? Monday? They still aren't back in the office. They have solar plasma here at about 2.2 to 2.2, right? Look, they had solar wind still up at 600. They never fixed it. A bunch of goofballs. All right. Then they have solar wind starting the day. Now they started the day. We have all that right here. We'll use ACE. It's easier. They started the day at 360 and went up to 500. Plasma went up to about 8 and went down to about 0. And again, what do they have? Plasma at 2. No 0 to 8, right? And here we are on the 9th. Nothing. No movement whatsoever. 0 to 10, 0 to 10, 0 to 8, 0 to 8. Solar wind started at 360. Here, they're starting above 400 kilometers per second. They're going down. Well, they started at 360 and they went up the opposite direction to 500 kilometers per second. Great call. Again, we just paid to update this as well. This model costs over $100,000 to update. We're paying 100 scientists there in Boulder, Colorado, and they each have 60. They're like the congressmen. They can't get anything right. Someone sitting in their study in Texas has a better idea of what's about to happen than hundreds of scientists working for NASA and NOAA, both. It's pretty hard. We say John Muller, we say Miss Teresa, we say Miss Lois, we say William, Mike Johnson, good to see you in the house. B&D, always a pleasure. Shout out always to Tiffany. I was on the phone with her a bit ago. Thank you, Miss Teresa, for the interesting information. I can't cover it all. I wish I could. I'm trying to get someone else on to help me. So, what's so weird is it hits stereo ahead here on the 10th tomorrow with just huge velocity. And then it doesn't hit Earth with the same velocity. They're only looking for barely break. I don't see how this is going to be a G2. A G2 with about 12, 15 centimeters cubed of plasma. We've seen 70 not be a G2, right? So this is going to be a shit show. And this is really late on the 10th. I think this is going to happen closer to about 11. I will show you all the impact tomorrow to see how close I am. Between 11 and 12 Central Time here in the U.S. Of course, again, today they got this totally wrong. It didn't start at 450 and go down. It started at 360 and went up to 500. So this is completely wrong, as everything they always do. Thank you guys for the cup of coffee so much. It means the world to the channel right now. It really does. If y'all only knew, the channel's scraping by. Scraping by. All right. We had a flare come out of here, and it's a pretty intensive flare. I can't believe that they're actually grading it the way they are here. Let's take a look at how they graded it. They did grade it as an M flare, and it was kind of a longer term M flare, about a 1.3. It's not mentioned yet on this, and I will update this to see if it's going to be mentioned. No, it's still not mentioned on this. And it came out of 3814, the same sunspot that put out the 3.47 today, and the other M 3.47, the M1 as well. The only other two active sunspots to flare today were 3811 right here and 3806 on the departing limb. So we're in a proton storm, a solar radiation storm, and we're also in a polar cap absorption event, which I will soon show y'all. Look what's coming around the limb. Look how large this filament eruption is. That's from one sunspot to another. Neither one of them are named yet. This is really the last hour, and you can see the M flare here. You can see the M flare happening. 3814, right? 3814. I believe this coronal hole is too far north to be to affect Earth in any way, so I would not worry about this. It looks like there wants to be a coronal hole forming down here, and we'll keep an eye on that. If there is one that forms, it won't be Earth facing for about 3 more days. Look at this, unnamed sunspots. You can see the activity. This is a heck of a flare here. That's a filament eruption. Now to our polar absorption. Look at this, radiation frying us like eggs. If y'all only knew how close we were to the sun compared to all the other planets, except for Venus and Mercury, obviously, which are unlivable, kind of like the 69,000 degree Van Allen belts. There are 3 of them, and we went through them in 1968, but we can't go back through them. Did y'all see Elon? He's headed to Mars. Just don't buy a ticket, because that's going to end up in the bottom of the Atlantic Ocean or the Gulf of Mexico. Look at this intense radiation storm. It's called a polar cap absorption event. Both of our poles, our North Pole and South Pole, are allowing the protons from the backside X20, X40 flare to enter Earth's atmosphere. The entire solar system is, being pounded with these protons. Pounded with these protons. Look at that. I'll slow these down a little bit if I can, guys. All right. I'll put this down here so we can see. We're going into today right about, you can see the 19, 20, 21, right about now. And see some activity off the departing limb there. Extensive activity. And then the incoming limb as well. And we had some flares that were Earth facing today. There's one out of 3814 up in the north. We knew that had flared 3 times today. There it went again. Same sunspot group, 3814. Now we did have another flare from this sunspot group, but I don't see it. Let's slow this one down as well. And let's get to today. And that didn't quite start right. And today is now. Let's see what we've got. We've got a filament eruption 3814 here. Big solar eruption on the departing limb. Huge. Look what just happened. Unnamed sunspots, that filament eruption, that arc. That's going to be a deadly sunspot here. And just look at the departing limb as well. That's 3806. And then y'all saw that. That was the M3.47 solar flare from 3814. I do want to bring this to y'all as well tonight. I usually don't, but I want to. These red spots here, they all mean that these sunspots are beta, delta, gamma. And I'm so surprised that none of these sunspots have really shown their strength yet. We got 1, 2, 3, 4 of them. The red gives it away that they're delta. Now, this is beta gamma, and it's been given its heck. That's where the M3.47 came from. But these other 4 sunspots should be more active, or I would think that they would be more active than what we're seeing currently. All right, this is the back side of our star, guys. It seems like the sunspots dissipate as they become Earth-facing. It seems like when they come around the limb, they're reverse polarity. And you can see how terrible they look on Gong down here. And, ladies and gentlemen, we just have 005. It's all one polarity, but it's probably going to be named as 20 sunspot groups. We'll see what happens. Currently, I think we only had, about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Remember, the all-time high on sunspot groups that are Earth-facing is 26. We accomplished that. Did everyone taste that radiation today? Cancer, anyone? Cancer? Cancer, anyone? All right, this is the backside eruption here. Can see they have it started at 5:14. It actually exploded at 1:30 UTC time. But this is the backside eruption that caused the solar storm we're currently in. So there's a R1 radio blackout, S1 a solar radiation storm, and then we're expecting at G1 or 2 a geomagnetic storm, which is plasma. These are protons. How many states of matter are there? There's 4, guys, 4. There's solid, liquid, gaseous state, and the in-between plasma. And that's what you're seeing here. Although they said it went the other direction, which I very much hope it did take out Lasco's camera for a moment, or 4 hours, excuse me. And this is what actually increased our proton count. What do you say, Dallas? Good to see Big Al. What do you say, Big Al? Yeah, Robert, it does the same to me. It wakes me up, but it also makes me tired and not able to sleep, which is a real shit show. You're tired, but you can't go to sleep, right? All right, let me increase the size of this a little bit, guys. All right, this is STO HMI magnetogram image. We can see if the polarities are what they should be. And everything in the southern hemisphere should be black over white or negative over positive, which we do see. And everything in the northern hemisphere should be white over black or positive over negative, which we do see, except for that sunspot coming around the limb there. To me, that looks black over white right there, right? Black over white. Black over white is what that looks to me. And we see that often. We see that often. It seems like the sunspots come around reverse polarity. I know that we're headed in towards a solar max. That should not happen until pardon me, mid-year 2025. If you know that the solar minimum was in 2019, July 2019, you can look at an 11-year cycle, and you add, 5.5 to 19, you get right around where we're at now, plus a few months. So between now and July of this time next year, we'll be going through the solar maximum of solar cycle 25, and it will take us about 5.5 years to get back to the solar minimum of solar cycle 25 and the start of solar cycle 26. Now, for the next 2.5 to 3 years, the sun is in play. It could wipe out all of civilization and everything we've created over the last 2,000 years, and it's done it many times before. Many times before. Good to see you, William Krager. Apologize about I don't know what's happening there. Soho, 171 angstroms, guys. These are the two sunspots that will be named in the morning, and even when they took this was taken at 8 p.m. Central Time tonight, and you can see the filaments connecting these two unnamed sunspots coming around the limb here. And then look at all the activity on the departing limb. Absolutely ridiculous, right? I wonder what that's about. I was feeling pretty good. Well, okay, Soho 284 angstroms. Look at the departing limb. Unbelievable. This was taken at 8:00. No. It's taken at 7:06. 6:06 this morning. So they have not updated Soho at 284 angstroms. But we can still see the two sunspots that are connecting with that plasma arc coming around, and we can still see the departing sunspots. That would be 3806. It gave us so much trouble today. A lot of those hits should be inbound. A lot of those coronal mass ejections that must have been created must be inbound. How do we always get hit by a CME going the opposite direction? But when there's an X flare that's Earth facing, there is no CME. Have y'all noticed that? Or is it just me? Yep. So this coronal hole, again, I think it's too much in the northern hemisphere to be geomagnetically affected, and I'll show you why. You know, everyone has their own idea of the solar system, but this is how it really looks. Just FYI, supposedly, this is mainstream scientists, not me, but the sun is our star, and we all have a geomagnetic connection to the sun, and it's moving at 544,000 miles an hour, if you listen to mainstream science, away from the Big Bang. And for some reason, it's moving through the Milky Way galaxy, which just is a little bitty piece of the universe. Not even a dot on the end of a pin, nothing. But all the planets have to be behind the sun because they're being pulled by the sun. They're not going to get in front of the sun being pulled by the sun. Earth, 67,000 miles an hour. It takes one Earth year to orbit the sun at 67,000 miles an hour. Each planet is moving at a different speed. The only planet moving the opposite direction from counterclockwise. Every planet moves counterclockwise except for Venus. And they say Venus got hit by a collision in the, cloud, blah, 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 right? Let's take a look at what our galaxy looks like. Because I know a lot of you people really, you don't know how small we are in the scheme of things. Earth is so much smaller than this and so much closer to the sun than this. It's laughable. This is not to scale. There's Earth. This is part of the Milky Way galaxy with a big black hole in the middle of it. It's where we're all rotating counterclockwise. It's like a subtropical low, right? We're on this outside limb here, our solar system, and then we're part of a local group of galaxies. This is just one galaxy, the Milky Way galaxy, and we're just this little spot. One of over 1 million solar systems, more than that. There's over 3 million stars in the Milky Way galaxy. We're part of a local group of galaxies, and that's all part of a super local cluster of galaxies, right? Remember Earth? Remember the Milky Way? The outside limb here, the little speck, that's the entire solar system right there. Black hole here, local group of galaxies, the Milky Way and others. Super cluster of galaxies, and then just a little dot in the universe. Now, some people say there's a universe above us, below us, on both sides of us, in front of us, and behind us. String theory tells us that there's anywhere from 11 to 26 dimensions. So it's tough to figure out where we really are. This is the huge, they're calling it an X-flare. It's going to hit Venus. It's going to hit Osiris Apex. It's going to hit SOLO, which is the European Space Agency's equipment there. So if it doesn't knock that stuff out, we'll know it really wasn't an X10, 20, 30, 40, as they said. Especially Osiris Apex. We were supposed to drive that thing into the sun about 6 months ago. Instead, it's a U.S.-owned satellite. It's on the backside of the sun, but it won't send any pictures back. Y'all probably don't remember this. We used to have, this is Earth right here, we used to have stereo ahead, which I don't even see stereo ahead anymore. It's gone, the square. Stereo ahead should be over here. Stereo behind should be where stereo ahead is. And then we had stereo C on the backside within the same orbit as Earth around the sun. They said in 2017 a huge solar flare like this one took out stereo C. Stereo B was taken out this year, and now stereo ahead is for some reason behind. It should be up here, and stereo B behind, which they said was taken out this year. They said, because I don't believe anything they say, and based on our government and what they've told us, whoa. It's hard for anyone to believe anything. Let's see when the ESA, this is the Euphoria, the ESA, look at those flares off the chart on the left there. It looks like an impact on the 11th, not the 10th. The 11th, and they're looking for just under 60 centimeters cubed of plasma. You can see it goes actually off the charts in black here on the left. You can see the charts here. And then the funny thing is, let's look at today real quick. Let's look at today. Today's the 9th, right? All right, so they have solar winds starting here at 325. They started at 360, and they went up to 500, way up here. But the ESA says they started at 325, and they went down to 280. That's not what happened. And here, today's the 9th, we have plasma. It's hard to graph this out, but this is pretty legitimate-ish. They do a much, much better job with plasma than any of the space agencies in America, NOAA and NASA. And I want to get the Italian Space Agency into the reports every night because they have all this. I'm just working on learning their programs. But they totally blow solar winds. Like they have them at 500. We never got there. Until today, we're there now. Right? Remember when we discussed how wrong this crap was? They're pretty good at plasma here, and they're regularly right on with an impact for some reason. Of course, they've got as many satellites, I'm sure, that U.S. tax dollars paid for as anyone else. Right? All right. This is the situation that we're in today. We have Saturn. They said that if you have binoculars or a small telescope, even an inexpensive one, that Saturn is really impressive, and this is the closest pass. Did you hear Elon Musk, was that yesterday or today, said that it's the window for Mars is opening as we get closer to Mars here, and in 24 months, we're going to fire off that tin can to Mars at 34.4 million miles away? No, we're not, Elon. Give us our money back. How many hundreds of billions of dollars have we spent on Starship in Boca Chica, Texas, with walk-over Hispanic welder labor at $5 an hour? I've shown you all the trails and them walking over to work at his plant there. That's why he put it there. That and because there's a big Gulf of Mexico he can shoot the rocket into. Don't buy your tickets just yet, is all I can say, okay? Don't buy your tickets just yet. Now, we are getting into a situation where we've got a lot of large planets behind us. Remember, everything's to scale up to the green line, and then everything's not to scale in this area here, and then each time you see a green line, the stuff's further and further and further away. So only the inner solar system, which includes Mars, Earth, Mercury, and Venus, is to scale. Everything else is much, much, much further away than it appears here. Now, Miss Teresa, we're going to do an early reading tonight. If you're with us, I think you are. I think I saw you. There it is. Yeah, none of this is a huge deal. We're just covering the space weather for today. If there was an X-45 on the way right now, the one the size that melted the telegraph poles, and they actually could send telegraphs with no wires. There was so much electricity in the air, they didn't even have to be connected. They could still use their telegraphs, except for, well, if they were connected to a pole, they would burn. James Kopman, World News Report today. Who am I speaking with?
Good evening, it's Teresa, and you have my permission.
I'm going to, well, I thought we would read a little bit early today, if that was okay with you.
Absolutely okay.
All right. Guys, I want y'all real quick before we read to try to get to my Rumble account, because I'm bringing the, see if I can figure out how to get to the actual account since I'm logged in on Monday.
Wow, a whole $15.
Right. Well, I haven't done any videos there. Hey, I'm not. Obviously, if y'all think I'm in it for the moon, y'all got the wrong guy. You got the wrong setup, guys. There's no money in social media anymore. There was, but you know what? I'm here because I have a 13-year-old, and I figured it'd be safer if we do the Trump. Now, they should let me do it on YouTube, but I want y'all to at least know that we might be on Rumble. If I have problems bringing it with YouTube, might be on Rumble. Just so you guys know, because I'm not going to let it go. It's just too epic. Or it could be just too epic. We'll have to see what happens, right?
My daughter sent me a sunset picture. I sent it to you. The sun was so huge. It was unreal. Look at it. I just sent it to you.
All right, well, I'm going to dox you, but no one will call you.
I don't care. I don't care. You doxed me before. You doxed me before. Nobody called me.
No one will ever call you. Nightball, God bless you. Donnie Boone, God bless you. Thank you, guys. Sorry that we saw that. Wow, is that real even?
It is.
Are you sure that's real?
Yes, my daughter took that picture.
I don't even believe. I don't believe that's real. My gosh, is she like a computer genius, CGI person, or what?
No, that's actual, just regular picture taken out of the windshield of her car.
Guys, y'all should be able to see the sunspots. It's so definitive here. I mean, this is extra cool. Extra cool. I'm glad you made us pull this up because wow is all I can say is wow.
It was huge.
I can't believe this. And the color, too. All the stoplights are on. They're all probably taking pictures, right?
Hi, Brian. We're in Northwest Illinois.
Northwest Illinois. You know what? That is epic. And I didn't know y'all had mountains in Northwest Illinois. I won't lie.
We have hills.
Well, these look like mountains-ish. Is that where she is, or is she someplace different?
No, that's the tree line.
Yeah. It just looks like it looks like we're looking at a mountain, but wow. What an impressive picture. What an awesome picture. One of the best pictures I've seen in some time, guys. I'm wondering, this is something you might see on like real mainstream media. Wow, tell her to keep taking pictures tomorrow night, too. This is absolutely...
Isn't that wild?
Were you able to see this as well? Because the colors and stuff are nothing I've ever seen. I know you'll have a lot of smoke in the air up there. Is that what's making it that red tint? Or what do you think's going on?
I don't know.
When you see the sunset, does it look this color to you? It does not from here.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. The past 3 nights.
Well, I will have to say, guys, if I ever saw something like that, I'd have my camera out all day long, and I just only wish I was on one of these hills right here so I get the whole picture of it and see if we can see those sunspots.
Yeah, that would have been cool.
But this is super duper cool. Thank your daughter, is that what you said?
Yeah, my daughter Julia took it.
Now I know both your sons, right? But I didn't even know you had a daughter.
Baby girl.
How many daughters do you have?
I have 1 daughter.
Like me, 2 sons and 1 girl?
Yep.
How old is she, if you don't mind me asking? I won't ask for a name or anything.
Oh, she's the big 30.
Oh, so she's getting up there as far as mature. Tell her it's a beautiful picture, and work like this is always really appreciated. If you guys ever get pictures like this, please send them in because everyone wants to see something like this, right? With that said, Miss Teresa,
I'm going to open our Bible to 2 Peter 1.
Okay, that sounds familiar. I have photographic memory.
Well, if we read it already, I'll close it and open it again.
Doesn't say we have. Well, it is 2 Peter 1. Y'all see how it's purple here? I have photographic memory, unfortunately. I don't want one. Trust me. Ignorance is bliss. I'd much rather be ignorant. If y'all remember this, Simon Peter, a servant and apostle of Jesus Christ, we have in fact read this, and that might be why it opens to those pages a little bit more often.
Isn't that something?
Well,
okay, I'll close it and open it again.
Well, once you open the actual book, it opens that page easier, right?
Well, it could be 2.
Okay, well, let's do that then, because I don't.
2 Peter 2.
Okay, 2 Peter 2.
Because 1 is on the left of the page and 2 is on the
We
right.
have not seen that one. It's not in purple. It's in blue, if y'all can see the difference.
Then it must be 2 Peter 2.
All right, NIV. It's called, I like the way this one sounds, False Teachers and Their Destruction.
But there were also false prophets among the people, just as there will be false teachers amongst you. They will secretly introduce destructive heresies, even denying the sovereign Lord, who brought them, bringing swift destruction onto themselves. Many will follow their shameful ways and will bring the way of truth into disrepute. In their greed, these teachers will exploit you with stories they have made up. Their condemnation has long been hanging over them, and their destruction has not been sleeping. For if God did not spare angels when they sinned, but sent them to hell, putting them into gloomy dungeons to be held for judgment, if he did not spare the ancient world when he brought the flood on his ungodly people, but protected Noah, a preacher of righteousness, and 7 others, if he condemned the cities of Sodom and Gomorrah by burning them to ashes, and made them an example of what is going to happen to the ungodly, and if he rescued Lot, a righteous man, who was distressed by filthy lives of lawless men, for that righteous man, living amongst them day after day, was tormented in his righteous soul by the lawless deeds he saw and heard. If this is so, then the Lord knows how to rescue godly men from trials, and to hold the uprighteous for the day of judgment, while continually their punishment. This is especially true of those who follow the corrupt desire of the sinful nature and despise authority. Bold and arrogant, these men are not afraid to slander celestial beings, yet even angels, although they are stronger and more powerful, do not bring slanderous accusations against such beings in the presence of the Lord. But these men blaspheme in matters they do not understand. They are like brute beasts, creatures of instinct, born only to be caught and destroyed, and like beasts they too will be perished. They will be paid back with harm for the harm they have done. Their idea of pleasure is to carouse in broad daylight. They are blots and blemishes, reveling in their pleasures while they feast with you. Their eyes are full of adultery. They never stop sinning. They seduce the unstable. They are experts in greed and accused brood. They have left the straight way and wandered off to follow the way of Balaam, son of Beor, who loved the wages of wickedness, but he was rebuked for his wrongdoing by a donkey, a beast without speech, who spoke with a man's voice and retrained the prophet's madness. These men are springs without water and mists driven by a storm, blackest darkness in reserved for them, for they mouth empty, boastful words that by appealing to the lustful desires of sinful human nature, they entice people who are just escaping from those who live in error. They promise them freedom while they themselves are slaves of depravity. For a man is a slave to whatever has mastered him. If they have escaped the corruption of the world by knowing our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, and are again entangled in it and overcome, they are worse off at the end than they were at the beginning. It would have been better for them not to have known the way of righteousness than to have known it and then turn their backs on the sacred command that was passed on to all of them. Of them, the proverbs are true. A dog returns to its vomit, and a sow that is washed goes back to her wallowing in the mud. Amen.
Amen. So, I've got questions as usual. Does everyone knows that...
Before you get a question,
Yes, ma'am.
take a deep breath. Drop your shoulders.
Yes, ma'am.
Wiggle your hands. Shake it off.
So, it's not huge or anything, but I think
Let your belly out.
No, that'll ruin
Wiggle your toes.
the screens and stuff.
You got to let that shit go, man.
No, this has to do with ball. So,
Yeah.
and that's my question, because ball is who the government and all the people actually, follow or worship, if you will. And I'm guessing Balaam, right here that I have highlighted,
The son of Beor.
the son of Bezir, I'm guessing that's the same Baal. Am I right? I mean, it's got to be, right?
He was bent on cursing the people, even though God had forbidden it.
Is that Baal was?
Yeah, Bala.
So Baal is who at like Bohemian Grove. That's who they're worshiping there.
Yeah, is that it's still in California somewhere?
Yes, ma'am. It's north of San Francisco. They just had it 2 weeks ago, where all the people showed up.
Oh my God! Yeah, here it's talking about it.
And if you don't know, they acted. 2 YouTubers filmed the whole thing. And some of the people that are much more smarter than me said, well, hey, their dads must have let them in because the security is so hefty there. They acted like they got chased out by security, but they probably wouldn't chase you out. They'd probably put you in a hole somewhere and take your camera.
Who was that years ago that snuck a camera in and then
That was the guy that they just took billions of dollars from over Sandy Hook. That was... Anybody?
Wasn't he a news guy?
I'm going to see if anybody knows. So, Alex Jones. That's right, Tiffany Hartman nailed it. Alex.
Trophy. She gets a trophy. I can't. I'm on the phone, so I can't give her a trophy.
Well, let me say that they all worship Baal at this Bohemian Grove thing, and I never knew really what it meant, but it looks like there's actually written in the Bible here that says that if you don't worship the right way, you go and wander off to Baal. And I don't know who Bezer is either. I do sometimes feel stupid, but at least we're learning as we go each day, right? We're going to go ahead and look up Bezer real quick. Just for funsies. Bezer is the Bible. So Baal is who they worship, and Bezer, the amazing name Bezer, meaning etymology, Encyclopedia Bible Gateway. That's a city. It says it's a city in the region of Reuben. And maybe that's what that meant. Baal was from Bezer, right? Right? So it's a city. I thought it was his father, but hey, live and learn.
I have a map. Let me find it.
An old map?
Yeah, it's in my book.
I need one of those books. You didn't
finish doing your shaking it off.
It was a stronghold. I'm good. I'm kind of getting well again. It was a stronghold, a fortress, a Levitical city in the region of Reuben, assigned to the children of Merari. The same city was one of 3 cities of refuge appointed by Moses on the east side of the Jordan. If y'all remember, they had to cross the Jordan, right?
So it was in Arabia?
I'm guessing it was somewhere there near Iraq, Iran. That's where the Euphrates comes through, the parting of the Red Sea, etc. Remember, they've actually found chariots down in the bottom of the Red Sea.
Yeah,
everything's real. Everything that we read here is real. And then they actually mention Edamon, and I think Edamon's a bad guy. I think we've read that somewhere before. If anyone does know anything about that,
it's a volcano, I think.
Is that where I know that name from?
I think so.
All right.
Over there.
Yeah, a real deal. So the YouTubers that filmed all that crap, they're still fine, and we think it was kind of a setup because they really filmed no people. All faces were hidden. I don't know if they're trying to what's called gaslight us. That means showing you they can do it and get away with it and put it in your face without you being able to do anything. That's what gaslighting means, just so you guys know. That's the definition of gaslighting.
They showed you the truth and you don't believe it.
Oh, they showed you their truth, and
right.
I don't believe it. But they also show you they can put it in your face and there's nothing you can do about it. That's the gaslighting part, right? And I've shown y'all so many times. Podesta, right? Podesta, who's now back with the Department of Homeland Security, 14 and Fish. And a lot of you guys that are new might not know that this is actually worship of the same heritage. Look, they've erased. I might have to go to Yandex. They've erased. Gosh, they have cleaned. Google is a slime ball. Burning books quick as they can go. Used to be able to 1 month ago. Now, if I go over to the Russian search engine, which is the best search engine in the world, not Brave browser, not DuckDuckGo, they're all owned by Google. Now, if I type in Podesta, and fish, and then when I hit it, can you believe I have to go to a Russian site? Look, hundreds of pictures of it. He was gaslighting y'all. This is gaslighting you. He's showing y'all who they worship, And I've taught y'all the story about Horus, Osiris, Isis, the reincarnation of Osiris into Horus, Horus killing Set. These are all the original fallen angels, Ra being the original fallen angel. And the 14 and the fish, Set cut his brother up into 14 pieces. I want y'all to look at his thumbs. Look how much they've been cut. And if y'all ever know anything about their sacrifices, they cut their hands up, and you've seen Obama's hand so many times, right? Look at his fingers. Look at both of his pinky finger and the next finger on both hands. They've been cut to death, right? It's easy to see. Can y'all believe that we can find this from a Russian? It's not propaganda. These are all pictures that he, try to show off here. 14 in the fish means that Set, the brother, killed Osiris, cut him up into 14 pieces. Isis, the wife, which is also the sister, they did it like that, flew around as a crow, found all 13 pieces, could not find the 14th piece. That's why we have the phallic symbol actually in Washington, D.C., and there's only 2 other places the phallic symbol exists. In the Vatican, right in front, with the dome behind it, the dome of Congress being the pregnant Isis, with Horus, the reincarnation of Osiris. And then the third place is in the French. Look, it's painted on his gun here, Church Christ New Zealand. I know all about these people. They're bad news. Can y'all believe we get better information from Yandex, a Russian search engine? And if I go back to just everything web, look at all these stories. 14 fish meaning symbolism. You'll never find anything like this. Hand meaning, vigilant links. And what Russia does is they have 2 protocols in their search engine, relevance and dates. And they actually bring it up by dates and relevance. I've thought about moving there. I won't lie to y'all. I've heard there's some great places, especially places like Portugal. You can live on $1,200 to $1,500 a month like a king. And if you get to the Eastern Bloc European countries, it's even cheaper. So a lot of we call it expatriates are moving to a lot of them are moving to Spain and Portugal because it's so inexpensive to live there. But a lot of them are actually moving to the old Soviet Union bloc countries because it's even cheaper to live there. And y'all have seen pictures from Moscow lately? Everything's like great. Great. Everyone's out at night. Everyone's got a job. Everything's going great. I'm just saying. I think it's funny. I don't really think it's funny, but I think it's funny how America has more censorship than Russia does. And y'all haven't seen all my work because YouTube erased it. We actually have a sewer next to the Washington Monument, and it has Ball's seed or semen in it. It's inside the sewer hole. Do you remember that, Miss Teresa, or have you seen that with me?
I did see that.
Right, so they've hit all that. You have to use Yandex. If y'all want to learn anything, don't go to Brave browser. Don't go to DuckDuckGo. Google bought everything. Something that's owned by the Russian government is not for sale. That's the only reason they haven't bought Yandex as well, okay? The only reason, because Google has all the money in the world. Their rule is this, and I work for Google, so I know their rules. If someone or some search engine or competitor gets only 1% of the market share. They buy it, and they don't care what it costs. They'll pay 20 times more than it's worth to hold on to the monopoly. I do believe that these two people were involved in the McCann kidnapping. They were there that day, and that's his brother over there. And I've seen their houses. This is all in Russian, so you have to translate. But do y'all remember the McCann kidnapping? These two goofballs were in that same condominium complex that day. And they are some sick people. Pizza. And if y'all think Comet Ping Pong was a fake deal, it was all 100% real. 100%. Hot dogs, pasta, pizza, and all. So, hey, Miss Teresa, I want to say I love you. Thank you so much for keeping us right with the Bible.
I love you too. You're welcome. Just remember there in 20, it said, that's a very solemn warning. It is describing false teachers and teachings that lose your faith. Don't shut yourself off from grace.
But you know what?
Our Holy Spirit.
Information is king. If you can look at it from every direction and still keep your faith, then you're becoming what's called educated instead of gaslit, right?
Yeah. Our Holy Spirit sustains and strengthens our faith. And that's the most important thing.
Y'all can actually type in the story of Horus, Osiris, and Isis. Set was the one, that was the brother that was eventually killed by the reincarnation of Osiris into Horus. And that's who they worship, and that's Baal, just so you guys know.
Sending love to everyone. Thank you, James.
Thank you, ma'am. God bless you.
God bless you.
All right. I shouldn't be showing y'all Yandex. I could get Russian misinformation or something, right? James is giving Russian misinformation. All right, we're going to take a caller or two. Dalius, you want to call in and say howdy? Law enforcement system. What do you mean, Dalius? Call in and say howdy. Yeah, please give us a thumbs up at least. And if anyone can afford it, I know times, I did a video earlier. Times are so tough right now. People have no savings left. Everything's on credit cards, and the default rate is 6% a month. 6% a month. If y'all can buy us a cup of coffee. All right, Mike Johnson, what are you, 29? Catherine, we'd love to hear from you. I think you live in Canada, but you have my number. Love to hear from you. Everyone's gonna go hide in the corner. Wasn't that a beautiful picture Miss Teresa's daughter bought for us, guys? It's hard to believe. It is hard to believe for me. I would think you could see sunspots on this thing. Hard to believe. So tomorrow I am going to hold the Trump debate. I'm hoping you guys can find me on Rumble. It's just World News Report today. The same deal. I actually have some people taking over my Rumble account, my DLive account, my TikTok, my Instagram, all my accounts, and they're just going to transfer my work over to Jerome James Kaufman. Who am I speaking with?
Hey, your brother Jerome.
Jerome, YouTube rules.
I know. You have my permission.
When Jerome comes, I have to say that, sir.
How you doing today, brother?
Oh my gosh, it's compared to, I got my taxes turned into my accountant for the 15th of October. That was 2 weeks of work, and worried about that.
Did you have to go to YouTube this morning, or was that yesterday?
That was this morning. 2 different deals. So we had to take down the doors, and we got to keep up the one that the DOJ released. So, remember the doors, guys?
Yeah, that was epic.
You've got to be a little bit older to realize how epic that was, but I realized it. Now, I will tell y'all I can't play them here, but I'll play them on Rumble tomorrow. Let me tell you this. There is, some things that I can't play here that y'all need to see. We'll just put it like that. And I wish we had some people that would go over to Rumble just so I can speak freely. And it's not for me really about the money. It's about that if I get over there and there's 10 people there, I feel like, on this one, we'll probably get 2,000-3,000 views by tomorrow. But if I go to Rumble and do it, I'm not quite sure how that's going to work out yet. But we are, again, working on that. I have hired some people that are going to help get it onto DLive, Rumble, TikTok, all of them, guys. All of them.
They need to get with the program and with what's right. I mean, you should have programmers hitting you up from all over the country to elevate the truth, but they don't want us to talk and say the truth.
Well, that's evident, right? That's evident.
Yeah.
And
you would think for their own souls and the souls of their children that they would be falling over backwards over top of each other to do the right thing.
And there's so much money involved with it for them.
It ain't even about no money. It's about what's right
Did you hear Bob Dylan 2 nights ago on an interview say that he sold his soul to the devil?
Yeah, a lot of them have, James.
I thought it was a joke. I still thought it was a joke. Okay.
Yeah. Well, I'm saying almost all of Hollywood has.
But he talked to us like he was not kidding. 2 nights ago in his live interview, he wasn't kidding in a little bit. He didn't snicker. He didn't laugh. He was sad about it. Actually, he was sad about it.
He ought to be. And you know what? All of them are going to be sad, and it's going to be too late. Too late.
And he had his car that went 195. He lost his license and he couldn't drive. But you know what? He was a multi-millionaire, if not more. And 2 nights ago on national TV,
he ain't nothing, James. He ain't nothing. He ain't nothing but chaff for the fire.
You know what? He admitted that the worst decision in his life was to sell. I was like, how do you sell? He's like, y'all don't understand. There's a lot more powers here on Earth than y'all think there are. And
exactly, and it's in Ephesians 6. It tells you that we fight principalities, and they are real. Trust me. And
he even told y'all on his live interview 2 nights ago that he sold his soul to the devil and wishes he would have never done it. Because now it's getting to where he's old and he's going to pass and he's got a face.
Yeah, and he's regretting every bit of it too because he ain't got nothing to look forward to now.
Cars break, go away, become rusted, guns, gold.
And you're not taking none of them riches with you when you go to the grave, when you go to stand before the Father. You ain't taking nothing.
The next morning never comes.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, it's coming.
What Dalius? So I don't think she's going to cackle during the debate. I'm holding it. I already have it set up for YouTube, but I have the backup set up for Rumble just in case, because I know Rumble will never stop me. They have no censorship whatsoever.
They all think it's a big joke, but there's coming a day when
you could hear in Bob's voice, and it cracked, and he cried, and the whole deal. 2 nights ago in his 60 Minutes interview, he actually came out and said that he sold his soul to the devil in some deal, and that we didn't understand, but the devil was a real power, power.
Yeah, well, he needs to denounce his oath that he made and turn his heart and his soul over to God and pray for forgiveness. That's what he needs to do. Because as long as he didn't blaspheme the Holy Spirit, he can be forgiven. Just like anybody else can be forgiven for anything.
I'm going to show you.
If they're sincere and they really do change.
I think he was sincere by the way he acted, admitting soul to devil.
He better take it to the cross. That's all I got to say.
Sold to the devil, short clip, admits he was sold to the devil. I can't play because it's YouTube, guys. Bob Dylan admits he was sold to the devil.
Rumble.
I can put it on Rumble, and I will for you guys tomorrow if anyone ever watches it over there.
I wish I knew how to get to you on Rumble.
All you got to do is type in rumble.com and World News Report Today channel. That's it.
Do I have to sign in or anything?
I don't think so.
All right, I'm going to try it.
Try it because we might be forced. Look, this all came out, just so you guys know, September 9th. This is September 4th, 2016. He's admitted it so many times. It's crazy here.
Yeah.
Bob Dylan.
There's so many of them. I can't even name them all.
Can you really sell your soul to the devil? Here is Bob Dylan admitting that you can. Straightforward looking.
They even recruit people to sell their souls to the devil.
Here it is on Flickr. I've heard of it, but I'm not quite sure.
And what they do is they mesmerize you with flattery and with position and power and everything else to where you basically think it's a win-win when it's not.
They're all YouTube videos, but there is a source. All I got to do is go to Yandex to get the source. Isn't that sad? Isn't that sad that I can't even use an American browser?
That's because Gates is in bed with all of them. I mean, he's one of the head honchos.
I hate that dude, man.
Believe me, if I could get him in front of me, I would run my spear right through him.
YouTube friendly, sir. Admits.
I'd be real friendly.
So he actually did this again this week, 2 days ago, another, and he was crying about it.
Well, that's because he realizes he's getting at that age where he realizes what he's done and what's coming. And you know, when you've sold your soul to the devil like that,
and he actually said,
and you've seen the power and the evil, you know there's an opposite to whatever they believe in. There's an opposite.
Yin yang.
Yes. And they know that they got to go face that opposite in the next life, in the next world.
So all that good, like Taylor Swift.
Yeah. Give me 1,000 years in heaven and they can have this.
Ooh, I've got one. I've got I can play this one. This is Russian YouTube. We actually have Russian YouTube too. Don't worry. Now this is him in the 60 Minutes video. Just this. Look, he's so upset. I'll try to get rid of this. I don't know how this works.
Why do you still do these songs?
That's
you're still on tour.
It's in
But
Russia.
I don't take it for granted.
I don't
Why are
take
you
it
still
for
doing it?
granted.
Why are you still out here?
Well, it goes back to the destiny thing. You know, I made a bargain with it, you know, a long time ago, and I'm holding up my end
What was your bargain?
to get where I am now.
Should I ask who you made the bargain with?
with the chief commander.
Capo.
Oh, this Earth?
And this Earth, and then in the world we can't see.
Bob Dylan
That's
has
60
been
Minutes. I knew he did that yet this week. I knew it. I love Yandex, guys. They're probably going to put me in jail for pushing Russian disinformation, but I'll take my chances, right? You heard him. That was him on 60 Minutes this week, actually. Pretty scary shit, man. I didn't know you could do that. I mean, I called the devil. He said, "Man, your soul ain't worth shit." I'm kidding. Oh, Lord. I wanted to be a disco dancer. I'm kidding, guys, obviously.
You and me both.
You gotta have some fun with it, or...
I used to dance disco back in the 70s and 80s.
I think all of us did, right?
yeah. Now I gotta take my a cane out there.
Well, shit. Since you...
I went to a buddy's house in Ludington today and got it out of the bathroom and reframed it in. I'm sore as heck.
Oh, I hear that, man. Well, you got me when I was just recovering. Now I'm a lot stronger. Starting to... I
just signed up with Planet Fitness.
With what?
Planet Fitness.
Never heard of it.
Planet Fitness is...
Oh, yeah, Planet Fitness. We got one right here down the street.
Yeah, I just signed up for them, so I'm going to start working out.
Yeah, we got one within a quarter mile of the house here. I've never been there, but...
They're pretty nice. I used to clean them in Tucson.
Sure.
There was like 3 of them I used to clean during COVID.
Well, Jerome ended up here when I was still recovering, coming off of the stroke. I had nerve damage. I couldn't even lift the big thing of water, so luckily he was there to lift it. Now I'm back to being able to lift and work out and walk and jog and stuff.
That's good. That's good.
I'm hoping to start playing pickleball again here in the next week.
What the heck is pickleball?
All right, let's look at pickleball. That'll be interesting for you guys.
I can't see nothing on your screen except the planet.
Well, now you will be. Hold on.
I gotta see what pickleball is.
Well, wait, it's YouTube.
I still can't see that.
Hold on, I'm working on it. We'll do videos, and all I gotta do is find one on Rumble.
I used to play shuffleboard.
Yeah, this is like most of the people that play with me. I was a professional. I pitched for professionally, and I played tennis professionally. And most of the people are professional tennis players that moved into pickleball.
So what is that, like throwing a ball in a net or something?
No, we hit the ball at over 140 miles an hour to each other, about 10 feet away from each other. If you want the truth. Oh, yeah.
Is that like racquetball?
I'm going to play it. If you just let me, if I can find one that says anything but YouTube, I can play it.
Well, we used to play racquetball like that.
Yeah, I've been hit so many times with a damn racquetball, but...
I've never heard of pickleball.
Well, this is the largest scoring sport in the U.S. and the largest scoring sport in the world right now.
Oh, yeah, pickleball is like ping pong with a bigger paddle?
I mean, it's a lot more workout than you could ever imagine. I can't believe these are all YouTube. I'm not going to take a strike on this, so that's why I keep going down, guys. My apologies. Y'all figure it out. It's a badass sport. It's a badass sport.
I have to do some research.
Yeah, everyone thinks it's for old people, but not the way the 5.0 players play it.
Yeah, I haven't golfed in a long time either. I haven't golfed in like 10, 15 years either.
Can y'all believe that Biden said he had a 6 handicap? He changed that to an 8. I've seen him golf. He must have a 6. Trump said bet him on live TV about a month ago. If he could break 100 with someone watching him, Trump would donate $1 million to any cause he wanted to. And he said anyone with a 6 to 8 handicap can break, and Trump can break. You know what, guys? I've only broken 100 10 times in my life. I've been probably my lowest round ever has been in the 80s, but I mean, I was just getting, it was epic situation. So Trump said, hey, if your handicap's really a 6 or 8, I'll give you $1 million this week to any charity of your plan if you can just show us around. And Trump knowingly said that I bet he can't break 200. I say Trump puts the bet at 200 because, listen, I've shot at 145 before, and I'm a decent golfer, right? I've seen Biden actually play golf, and it didn't go even towards the hole. I mean, it was like watching I shouldn't say that, but someone that has no idea the sport they're playing play something. It was embarrassing.
Well, if I come to Texas, we're going to have to go shoot around because I haven't played in like 15, 20 years.
We got some inexpensive little, I call them 3-part courses, 9 holes around here with lights so we can play at night. Those orange balls and stuff.
Yeah.
So they glow in the dark and, good time. It's good times. I won't lie, guys.
We'll have to try that if I come down there.
Yeah, I got. We'll just play it on my bag, and I've got everything needed, and
we'll have Tiffany come and shag our balls for us.
Well, they actually have spotlights everywhere here on all the little nighttime 9-hole courses, and the balls are glow in the dark. They give you, and it's only like $10 or $12, something cheap, man. It is a ton of fun. Unless Bill Gates puts some mosquitoes on you. And then maybe not so much.
Yeah. I think they're putting a lot of bugs on us right now. We got bugs coming from everywhere.
That's not even a joke. Miss Teresa just...
It's like they're picking them up from overseas and dropping them off here.
You're getting... Now, Teresa, I want to ask you a question. Could you see that with your naked eye or just your phone saw it? So that means I'm right, and this guy that ragged on me on Facebook is going to be wrong about the solar storm inbound. I already knew I was right, by the way. I actually wasted my time with like 400 comments to him. I decided just to bail. I asked the administrator of the group to take him off because he was a bot. His channel has 0 friends and 1 dog picture. And obviously it's some male or female I've pissed off in the past.
No, not you.
Because the truth hurts people. It hurts. Y'all damn well know the truth hurts. Right?
What's the truth nowadays?
Well, it changes day to day. Ask me tomorrow. I'll have another explanation.
Exactly.
Well, that said, guys, it's after midnight tonight. I'm almost well. I feel pretty good.
Good. You get some rest, brother.
Oh yeah, I want to.
You're all in my prayers. Everyone is.
You and
May
me.
God bless each and every one of you tomorrow. And I
Hey,
hope we all have a blessed week.
hey, I just want to say this. Don't tell YouTube I told you to go to Yandex. I'm kidding.
I think they already know.
They already know. Google pays me, so shit.
Yeah.
God bless you guys, man.
You too, brother.
You have a great one.
Yeah.
Thank you all for joining us. If anyone can help us out with a cup of coffee, it is greatly appreciated. More so than you could ever know. And it was great to have Jerome on. And it was great to have all you guys on. Miss Tiff, lots of love to you out there in upstate New York. And hopefully we'll get this whole country cleaned up and everyone can be, well, everyone should be united no matter of race, color, religion, or creed. That's not going to happen with the Islamic people, okay? It's not going to happen. It's against their religion. But the rest of us, well, the rest of the Abraham religions, and maybe even the Jews, I'm not quite sure if that's the Abraham religion or not, we could all unite. I love Buddhism. I don't know how they feel about Christians, but we'll never get that far. We'll never get that far with the people in charge currently. They want to stifle your speech, take your guns, so that they can stifle your speech more. That's it. That's all they want. Thank y'all. God bless you guys. This is, everyone asks me what this is. It's an eclipse. I'm not sure if it's the moon, the eclipse in March and September, or if it's Earth, but it's an eclipse on the satellite, and it happens the same time of day every day. I know it happens in September. I remember 4 years ago learning about this because I was asking the same questions you guys are asking, right? And here they've actually cut, look at that dip right there. They've covered up several of the dips, or we had solar flares so powerful that maybe they were more powerful. There's the other dip right there. They covered up. There's a real dip right there. These are the eclipses of our GOES satellite. That's what these are. So you guys know. God bless. Please share and subscribe. Always remember, anything is possible in Bizarre Ass World. Love you all. One love.